Okay, so today we're diving into something, well, something pretty radical. It's a detailed blueprint for a completely new economic and social operating system, one that's designed from the ground up to solve one of our oldest and toughest problems. All right, let's get into it. And it all kicks off with this just staggering fact. This really sets the stage. The argument here isn't that we have a scarcity problem, we clearly have more than enough. The real issue, according to this blueprint, is the system we're all using. It's just broken. So that really gets you thinking, right? This is the central question of the whole project. Instead of trying to put another patch on the old, failing system, what if we could just build a brand new one? A system designed from the start for abundance, not inefficiency. All right, so first up, let's really dig into what's broken. What is the problem that this new system is actually trying to fix? You see, the core idea here is that we have to stop looking for some kind of magic silver bullet. The thinking goes that things like a new superfood or another charity, they're just band-aids. They might treat a symptom, but they never get to the root cause. This blueprint says the real problem is way deeper. It's actually baked into the very systems we rely on to produce and distribute everything. So, okay, if you're going to try and rebuild the entire world's operating system, where do you even start? Well, according to this plan, it all begins with a single, tangible little seed. And the answer, maybe surprisingly, starts with this number, 24,000. This is what grounds the whole massive vision in something real. It's the total number of calories in one Barness Miracle Bar Challenge box. See, each box has 60 of these bars, and it's basically a treasure chest of nutrition, enough food for 2 whole weeks. This is the spark that's designed to kickstart the entire system. Now here's where it gets really clever. The bar isn't the solution itself. The designers have a special name for it, a stabilization primitive. The best way to think about it is like a first aid kit. It's a simple, immediate tool you use to stabilize a crisis. And that buys you precious time to do the real, complex work of rebuilding the whole economic system from the inside out. And that brings us to the real engine room, the core of this whole machine. If that food bar is the seed, then this next part is the fully automated, self-sustaining greenhouse where everything is meant to grow. This analogy just perfectly captures the huge economic shift we're talking about. See, this isn't about just selling you something. It's a fundamental move towards what's being called a consumer-to-asset economy. When you participate in this, you're not just a customer buying a product, you actually become an owner, a stakeholder in the land that produces everything. So let's break down how this system's AI, which is called GENII, just completely flips the script on some old assumptions. First, it totally rejects the idea that a single product, even a perfect food bar, could ever solve hunger. Instead, it sees the bar for what it is, the very first step in a much, much deeper structural fix. Next up, it tackles the money problem. You know, the old way is basically just crossing your fingers and hoping investors will choose to do the right thing. This system redesigns the incentives from scratch. It's built to actually turn humanitarian goals into financially solid, bankable investments. And this is crucial. Doing good is no longer a speculative bet. It's engineered to be a safe, predictable, and yes, profitable choice. And then there's the architecture itself, the whole structure. It's a huge departure from the fragile, top-down models we're used to. GENII acts as the centralized brain, providing the global intelligence and optimization, but the actual work, the execution, happens locally, in a federated way. This means the system is incredibly resilient. There's no single point of failure. So the big question is, how does this thing actually create value? Well, this slide breaks it down pretty neatly. Step 1, the farmland itself gains value. Step 2, that land produces valuable commodities with predictable results. Step 3, the AI goes in and just strips out all the inefficient middlemen. And step 4, all the profit, the surplus that's created, flows directly back to the investors and the community members. You own the whole thing, top to bottom. And when you put all of that together, what you get is the system's engine, this incredible self-reinforcing flywheel. The more people who join, the more demand there is. That leads to more land being bought and protected. That means more production and more surplus, which in turn leads to even higher yields, attracting more people. It's a beautiful closed loop that's designed for perpetual, sustainable growth. Now, sitting right at the center of that flywheel, the conductor of this whole orchestra, is GENII. The best way to picture it is as an AI master gardener for this entire global orchard. The source calls it a quantum intelligence, which means it's built to solve these massively complex, system-wide problems. And it's all built on one simple, foundational rule: do no harm. Its entire purpose is to optimize everything for positive human outcomes.
All right, so we've looked at the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of the system. But what would it actually feel like to live there? What is life like inside one of these proposed communities, which they call sanctuary QIL zones?
I mean, the promises here are, well, they're staggering, honestly. Residents are guaranteed all-you-can-eat, locally sourced food, a home of your dreams, a job that not only pays for everything, but leaves you with a surplus every single month. And it all comes down to this fundamental principle: your value inside the system is always, by design, greater than what you need to just survive. And the source material uses this really vivid analogy. It describes these QL zones as a network of high-tech beehives. The idea is that everyone has a role that they enjoy, all the resources are managed with perfect AI efficiency, and the end result is this coordinated abundance. The very concept of scarcity is just engineered out of existence. Okay, so all of this naturally leads to the big, obvious question, right? Is this a credible, workable blueprint for our future? Or is it just an incredibly ambitious, maybe impossible, pipe dream? And this is where the architects of the system draw a really, really sharp line in the sand. They argue that almost all the AI we talk about today, the chatbots and analyzers, they're all designed to do one thing: evaluate ideas. They analyze, they critique, they talk. But this system, GENI, it's built for something totally different: implementation. And this quote from the source documents just nails it. They say, AI models like Grok evaluate ideas, GENI implements them. And that, right there, is the exact point where we stop messing around with chatbots and start building real operating systems that actually go out and do things. Which really leaves us with this final massive thought. Look, we've all seen grand visions for the future before, but it's rare to see one with this level of architectural, systemic detail. So the real question isn't just, is this a good idea? The real question is it even possible to build an entirely new operating system for human society from the ground up? And maybe more importantly, what happens if we actually try?